Well, wasn't expecting this. I guess my planned video has been interrupted for this week. We got a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetype from Rise of the Duelist, Dragma. Which the designs look cool, so let's just get started. Our first card is Elysia the Dragma Saint. It's a level 4 light spellcaster with 15 attack and 15 defense, and its effect is that if there's a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. And you can only use this effect once per turn. Second effect, if this card is no more special summon, you can add one Dragma card from your deck to your hand except itself, but you cannot special summon anything from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, and this effect can also be used once per turn. Third effect, cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster special summon from the extra deck. So this is an anti-extra deck play style. Quite interesting. Next we got Theo the Dragma Iron Hammer. It's a level 4 light spellcaster with 18 attack and 15 defense. And its effect is that it has the same special summoning condition as Elysia, and the effect can only be used once per turn, of course. Same cannot be destroyed by battle effect as Elysia. And the third effect, you can target one face-up monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. Until the end of the turn, this card gains 600 and the target loses 600. So a 24k beater, but this card might not be essential. Would have been a 3-up for a combo piece if it wasn't for the fact that this deck's playstyle is anti-extra deck even to yourself. Next, Aiden the Dragma Oracle. It's a level 4 light spellcaster with 1000 attack and 18 defense. Same special summoning condition, and same cannot be destroyed by battle condition. And its unique effect is that if this card is on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Dragma monster from your deck except itself. Luckily, there's no restriction to it, and it could be destroyed by anything, even your own cards, so you could do something with it. Next, we got a big monster, Maximus Dragma. It's a level 8 light spellcaster monster with 15 attack and 3000 defense, and its effect is that you can banish one fusion, synchro, exceed, or link monster from your graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. Why is this effect on a anti-extra deck playstyle deck? Beats me. Second effect, during your main phase, you can activate this effect. You cannot special summon anything from your extra deck for the rest of the turn, and then send 2 monsters from your extra deck with different names to the graveyard, and your opponent sends 2 from their extra deck to the graveyard. Now I see how you get the special summon effect, but why isn't this not in the small monsters? And now to another big monster, Fleur de Lis, the Dragma Knight. It's a light level 8 spellcaster with 25 attack and 25 defense. And its effect is, during the main phase, if a monster was special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then, if you control another Dragma monster, you can negate the effects of one face-up monster on the field until the end of the turn. And this effect can only be used once per turn. Pretty okay effect. Second effect, when your Dragma monster declares an attack, you can make all Dragma monsters you control gain 500 attack. And this effect can only be used once per turn. And this is actually an okay card. I will actually run 2 or 3 of these. And now to the big boss monster himself, Terror Dragmaton, the Heart of Dogma. It's a level 11 light spellcaster with 32 attack and 32 defense. And its effect is that first must be special summoned by its own effect by targeting a fusion, synchro, exceed, and or link monster in your graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. And then banish the targets. And then for its main effect, at the start of the damage step, if this card battles a special summon monster, it could be any, so at least it's not restricted to extra deck, destroy as many opponent's attack position monster as possible and then inflict 800 points of damage for each fusion, synchro, exceed, or link monsters that were destroyed by this effect. Wow, it gets the Luna Light Lyle Dancer effect, but also inflicts burn damage. Too bad it doesn't have those protection effects like many big boss monsters have nowadays. And now to the spells, our first card is a field spell, Dogmatic Nation of Dragma. First effect is a continuous effect. Neither player can target Dragma monsters you control with monster effects that were special summoned for the extra deck. Okay protection. Second effect, if your Dragma monster battles an opponent's monster, after damage calculation you can destroy that opponent's monster, and this effect can only be used once per turn. So not too bad. Third effect, if this face-up card in the field zone is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can make both players send one monster from their extra deck to the graveyard. I feel like sending one monster from the extra deck to the graveyard should be more of a once per turn effect than having this card to be destroyed. Next, we got the normal spell, Disciple of the Nadar. You can only activate one of these per turn. Send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, then add one Dragma monster or Abyss of the Nullius Filius, which is the second part of its archetype, by the way, from your deck or graveyard to your hand with attack less than or equal to the sent monster. And then for the rest of the turn, you can add special summon monsters from your extra deck. Obviously, play 3 out for being your searcher and also sending a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. And now for the traps, Dragma Punishment. It's a normal trap and you can only play one of these per turn. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Send one monster from your extra deck with attack equal or higher than it. And if you do, destroy that targeted monster. Until the end of your next turn after this card's resolve, you cannot special summon any monsters from your extra deck. Of course you run this because you want to send those extra deck cards to the graveyard. So run at least 2. Next, we got Dragma Encounter. It's a normal trap, and you can only activate one of these per turn. And its effect is that you can activate one of these listed below effects. Special summon one Dragma monster or Abyss the Nullius Filius from your hand, or take one Dragma monster or Abyss the Nullius Filius from your graveyard and add it to your hand or special summon it. So it's just one of those special summon cards as a trap, so run this as a tech. Although I wish that this card will have to send from your extra deck to the graveyard so you could fill up the graveyard. But oh well. And now to the dark side of the archetype, Abyss the Nullius Filius, which is the level 4 dark dragon monster with 18 attack and 0 defense. And its effect is that if this card is no more special summon, you can discard one card to fusion summon one monster from your extra deck using this card on the field and one of your opponent's monsters as fusion material. And this effect can only be used once per turn. So why is this in an anti-extra deck archetype? For backup play, I guess? And now to the big boss itself, Bastard of the Ashen Dragon. Yes, Bastard. It's a level 8 Dark Dragon Fusion monster with 25 attack and 2000 defense. Materials, Abyss the Nullius Filius, and 125 or more attack point monster. Its first effect is a continuous effect, where it gains attack points equal to the total levels of monsters you control as material for this fusion summon times 100. So least amount will be 29. Second effect. After this card is fusion summoned for the rest of the turn, this card is unaffected by activated effects from monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck. At least it has the archetype's playstyle. Third effect. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can take one Dragma monster or Abyss the Nullius Filius from your deck, add it to your hand or special summon it, and this effect can only be used once per turn. I say it's an okay card. I think this engine can work as a backup. I do hope for more dark side stuff actually, so I could run this as a chaos deck. If the archetype is cheap, that is. So that's it for the video. I guess I'll have to cancel my planned Card 5 Vanguard video for the week. This archetype's art style actually looks really cool. And in the OCG, they just announced a new upgrade in rarity, starting with Rise of the Duelist. Hopefully they do that in the TCG as well. Also, new Megatin design has been announced, and I'm getting really tired of dual monster Megatins. So other than that, hopefully you enjoyed this video.